Keith Carter is the athletics director at Ole Miss. He joins us on the Farm Bureau phone line right now, and we're just going to jump right in. Finite amount of time, a lot of questions after the news yesterday from the governor's office. Keith, certainly appreciate your time on what I'm assuming has been maybe a busier day than you had planned on a Wednesday in early March.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Richard. Certainly had to adjust some of the meetings and pivot a little bit and work on some other things, but it's a good thing. And, I think we've been able to do that. I think our staff has worked really hard and, looking forward to seeing where we can go.
All right, so what is on everybody's mind is what does this mean for Ole Miss baseball? And so kind of curious where you are in a planning or from a planning standpoint and what baseball is going to look like going forward. Obviously, the news yesterday, the governor leaves 50% capacity restrictions for indoor arenas, but lifts all capacity restrictions on outdoor sporting venues.
Yeah, Richard, there's going to be a video that's going to come out very shortly, probably within the next few minutes, that's going to explain some of our process and kind of what we're looking at. Obviously, with the governor loosening the restrictions, it gives us an opportunity to bring more folks into Swayze and other, venues, outdoor venues for our spring sports that we're looking forward to. Obviously we've got to do it in a safe and responsible way. And I think it would be a little bit irresponsible just to kind of rip the Band-Aid off and go from 25% to 100% right away. We want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And two, just logistically, we got to change some procedures and get our stadium kind of ready for a larger capacity. Obviously, we've got seats that are zip-tied and barbecue grills that have been taken out and a lot of different things that we've got to just do logistically as well. So it's going to take us a few days to do some of that stuff. But, I think we've got a great plan for increasing capacity. And, our goal is that, as we continue to push forward, obviously we're going to continue to monitor the virus and, what it looks like from a health and safety standpoint. But I feel like we've got a great plan to phase in this approach of expanding our outdoor attendance for sure.
All right, so if it's phased in, are you to the point where you're ready to say, okay, from a percentage standpoint, this coming weekend it gets to X, and then we hope in 2 weeks it gets to X plus whatever?
No, I'm not sure we're ready to put out specific numbers yet, Richard. We're working hard to, again, maximize and optimize what we can do in a safe and healthy manner. I think our folks are going to be getting calls, here over the next few days that it talked about getting season tickets before February 1. Obviously, we had to tell a lot of those people, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get into the stadium. So we're going to try to get with those folks. And, anyone who had ordered a season ticket before February 1st, we're going to give them the opportunity to get into the stadium. And then from there, we're just going to kind of assess where we are. And, hopefully we'll be able to sell some game-by-game tickets as well, as we move forward. But, obviously we've got a couple of weeks here before SEC play starts. And, I think it's very important for us to not only do this fast, but to get it right. And I just think that's very important. I think our staff has done a great job of working through that. Obviously, a lot of conversations with the SEC office, with John Cohen and Jeremy McClain, other guys in the state, to do this together, to kind of phase this in and make sure we're all on the same page there and we're doing it the right way. But, I don't think that putting out a specific percentage right now is the right thing to do. But, I can tell our fans and our donors and all those that want to get into Swayze that we're working very hard to get them all back in there as soon as possible.
For people that bought season tickets this year, because there was such a limited number, first of all, the season was split in half. You either got, package A or package B. Is there an option for people that bought tickets originally to now be able to go to all of the games as opposed to just half of the season?
Yes. So anyone who was in our system that had ordered a season ticket before February 1st will now have the option to go to all the games. And so that's a great start. That's a good number for us. It keeps us at a percentage that we feel like is a healthy number as we kind of monitor and look at everything we need to over the next few weeks. And again, I think we've got a little bit of a test case here with some midweek games and some non-conference weekends that, we're going to be able to work through and, again, try to make sure we're doing things the right way. So we're excited about it. We think that it's going to give our folks an opportunity to come to games, enjoy games, and Again, we're going to hopefully have an opportunity to sell some tickets at the press at the box as well, and hopefully get some more people in there. But all of those people who are originally wanting to have those season tickets, they're going to get an opportunity to come to all the games.
Keith, I'm curious, because of the allocation process that you had to use, most people are not in the seats that they were in years past. So, if you sat in Section A in years past, you might be in Section N now, or you might be in the outfield now. With more seats opening up, are the people who got seats that are vastly different from where they're used to being, is there an opportunity for them to move from the outfield back into the stadium? Or do you get what I'm asking?
Yes, and in theory, Richard, everyone again who had signed up for season tickets before February 1st would go back into their original seats. They would go back to their original number of season tickets. We were capped at 4 with the 25%. So really, it's pretty much back to business as usual for those folks. Again, it's not going to be a full capacity. We did not sell quite as many season tickets this year as we have in the past. We had kind of cut it off at a certain point. So there's going to be others that are going to want to get into the mix and try to get into the stadium, and certainly we're working toward that. But we just felt like it was the right thing to do to let all of those people that had shown loyalty and had wanted those season tickets to get them back in. So they'll be able to get back in their original seats with their original ticket numbers.
Okay, so I think you said, I'm just going to ask it a different way to make sure that I understand. If you were a previous season ticket holder and you signed up to buy season tickets prior to February 1st, then you are going to return to the location of your previous seats as this unfolds?
That is correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. We got a question on the C Spire text line as you were mentioning that. What about other safety measures in place? The mask mandate statewide was lifted. Is there still going to be a policy where masks are required in the stadium?
Yeah, so we will continue a face mask policy, and basically, Richard, it will be for ingress and egress as you are in transit throughout the stadium. So if you're not in your seat, you're going to the restroom, you're going to the concession stand, you're going to need to have that mask on. But when you get to your seat, you will be able to take your mask off. So we felt like we needed to make sure that we were trying to uphold some of these safety protocols. Obviously, we've got people that are going to be in elevators. We've got people that are going to be in queuing lines for concessions and those type of things. So we felt like that was important. So, one of the important things our folks will need to remember is that they will need that mask to enter the stadium, and they'll need it to move around the stadium. But once they get to their seat, they'll be able to take it off.
All right, I'm going to try and throw 3 more questions at you in a couple of minutes as we wrap things up. And I really appreciate you giving us some time this afternoon. What about left field? I've had some questions from people that have had tents out there in grill sections out there. Curious what that's going to look like for them going forward.
Left field will go back to normal. We will allow those grills and those tent areas back in. We are
starting this weekend.
Yes, starting this weekend.
Okay.
We will move the chairs that are currently in left field over to right field, and so that each of our students, we will actually double our student section out in right field as well. Each of those students will have a seat out there. So that's one thing we've looked at, and again, a lot of conversations with John, and I believe John's coming on the show later.
Yes.
But we're in lockstep with Mississippi State. Talked to Jeremy McClain this morning at Southern Miss. I think everybody agrees this is the right way to do it. Richard, the other thing that I really want to stress is that, none of the safety protocols for our student athletes have changed. All of the testing protocols are the same. We're creating buffer zones around our dugouts, our bullpens, those type of things to make sure that, they would not be in contact with our attending fans, because that's obviously priority number one for us is keeping them safe. So all of that will stay the same, and obviously a lot of the health precautions will stay in place in the stadium. We'll just have more people there.
And one of the other 2 questions I was going to ask you about was students in right field. So you said doubling the number of students. So the ballpark number, what does that give them the opportunity for out beyond right field?
Richard, we're going to double the number in right field.
So twice as many as were there last weekend. Fair enough. And then basketball on Saturday. Any changes for basketball based on the restrictions going up to 50% there? I know it's only one game left, and maybe that makes a difference.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to increase. I mean, we were at 10%, where most of the teams in our league were around 25% anyway. So we're going to increase there. We're going to sell some extra student tickets as well. Our ticket office is going to work in conjunction with some of our season ticket holders that when we went to 10%, similar to baseball, once we went to 10%, we had to tell some folks no. We're going to reach out to those folks and see if they want to come to the game Saturday. So should be a nice crowd there for Vanderbilt on Saturday evening.
When did you switch from AD to politician, this whole dodging numbers thing? This is new for you.
Well, this is a very, very sensitive topic, Richard. I mean, in all seriousness, this is something that we're excited about. I think the other institutions in our state are excited about as well. But at the same time, the virus is still here. It's still here, and we've got to be very careful with this. I think one of the main things, obviously, we know baseball is important. We know our other spring sports are important. We know hosting regionals in this state for baseball and softball are important. But also, on the broader scale, we got to think about next fall. We don't want to do anything trying to move quickly that is going to hurt us for the fall and next year. We want to make this a one-year issue. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure we're optimizing what we can from an attendance standpoint, but certainly do it in a safe way and in a responsible way.